Had a productive, great morning here in Belgrade. Had a wonderful breakfast. Was able to get a lot of work done today online, editing some video, answering emails, working on a client brochure, nice lunch. This afternoon I'm going to head out to the Belgrade Fortress, check out that area. It's a little like citadel area that's perched on a hill, a little bit further away from my hostel, probably 15-20 minutes, and I'll go check that out. Headed out of my hostel now, short excursion, walking across the central area, probably a 10 or 15 minute walk, and I'm going to go to the Citadel Fortress, which is just off of the main city here, and explore and wander around that area.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Just outside of the entrance to the Belgrade Fortress is a beautiful little park here. Looks absolutely gorgeous with all the trees and everything, and it takes up this entire little, almost peninsula edge of the island. Really nice. At the Belgrade Fortress, there are tons of dinosaurs. Who would have thought? Entering the main wall of the fortress. Actually, it looks like a moat area between two walls, inner and outer wall perhaps. There are a bunch of World War I cannons and tanks, maybe early World War II tanks over here. Oh, and on the other side there's some very, very old, looks like very early developments of tanks, like one-man tanks. These look very interesting. It looks like the main interior area, the upper citadel as they call it, the upper town in the citadel, has been devastated or destroyed at one point in time, and they built a beautiful park here. As I understand it from locals and a couple of things I read, Belgrade has been destroyed over 40 times, up to 44 times, completely destroyed or mostly destroyed and rebuilt. That's amazing. That's more than any other city that I think I've been to and visited. It's absolutely incredible, and it's a beautiful city. North end of the citadel wall, the exterior wall, and there's a drop down here and a small hill and a park below. And it's quite impressive what's the remainder of this wall that's here. It looks like a lot of it might be original stones or fairly old anyway. Really a beautiful view too, with the rivers down here. So I understand it, there's two major rivers that join right at Belgrade, and that's why it was a prominent military point for so many years, is it was the joining point of these two rivers, which were used for transportation and merchandise and business and military use. And if you were able to control the two waterways here where they join and the river that goes out from that, then you had a tremendous amount of power, both economically and militarily. It's been a wonderful afternoon. A really wonderful walk through the Belgrade Fortress. Really enjoyed the park area up there, and the view over the river and the city was really spectacular. That's all I have for today. So remember to pursue your passions, savor the moment, and just be happy in life. See you next time. Fascinated with the Egyptian capstones, the little stone that goes in the top of a pyramid, and this is one here in the middle of the street, and it has the directions on it, northwest, south, and then right at the top has the separate little gold capstone. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I'm not sure if I ever mentioned this before, but my degree from my university is in ancient Middle Eastern or Semitic studies. So I spent a lot of time studying Egyptian hieroglyphs, 2 years studying that. I had a grant from a research division of the university to translate a document from Egyptian into English. This is called the Shabaka stone. But anyway, during this translation time and this period when I was really into Egyptian, I spent some time studying these capstones, and was fascinated by the capstone, which is also the same stone that's the top of Egyptian obelisk, like the Washington Monument, you know, the tall little skinny white pole with the little capstone, that same capstone you just saw. In Egyptology, they call this the Ben stone. Skip all this if you're not interested in it, but it's called the Ben stone. The letter B in Egyptian, it looks like a little foot, and the N looks like water. And when you write it, it's a foot next to each other, and then water, like jaggy water. So it looks like 2 feet floating over water, which is fascinating because, as the story goes, in Egypt, the god Ra, during the creation process, floats over the top of the water, and then the first land rises up out of the water during the creation, and that first point, that stone that he stands on during the creation process of the land, is called the Ben stone. So symbolically, later in history and archaeology, this represents the point where deity, where God, where Ra connects and stands to do anything, interact with this world, the mortal world. So it's fascinating because that's the top point of the pyramid, and then the triangular lines that come down of the edges of the pyramid and of the edges of the Egyptian obelisk represent rays of light, and his power coming into the world. So I get really obsessed with these kinds of things when I see them. I just want to sort of give that background. Anyway, hope you skip this if you're not into it. If you like stuff like Da Vinci Code and stuff like that, I groove on symbolism. It's really awesome for me.